What's up, guys? On today's episode, the second full year update of fluid film on this 2017 Colorado. What does it look like? Well, I'm about to show you. All right, so for those of you that may be newer to the channel or maybe not realize what I have going on here, I have a year-by-year update and test of fluid film on this particular 2017 Colorado and my own 2017 Colorado. Both of which were bought brand new, both of which were sprayed before they were exposed to any salt or winter driving, and I basically give you guys a year-by-year update of how the product's performing and what the vehicle looks like underneath when it's exposed to a northeastern Ohio winter. So with that, I'm going to show you some key points and stuff I found underneath the truck, but spoiler alert, not a whole lot's changed from last year. So fluid film is doing its job. It's kind of anticlimactic. So as far as walking around the truck, there are a few little spots, a couple little pieces of hardware and stuff like that that show some signs of rust, but as far as the major structural members of the vehicle, nothing has changed. One thing I have noticed is the oil pan. Because the oil pan gets hot and cools down every time the vehicle is driven, the fluid film really doesn't stick that well to the oil pan. It thins out and runs off. So getting fluid film to stick to hot surfaces, as I've told you guys in the past, doesn't really work all that well. But as far as what the rest of this truck looks like I said, this is going into the third Northern Ohio winter. And honestly, this is probably about as good as a vehicle can get being driven daily in Northern Ohio. I'm sure some of you guys in California are going, oh, that looks terrible. The car's 30 years old around here look like that. Well, not so much in Ohio. If you make it 8 to 10 years in Ohio with not being able to put a fist through one of the major body panels, you're doing pretty well. But yeah, as you guys can see, there's no visible rot anywhere in the rockers. Even like up in the bedsides and stuff, nothing has even showing signs of surface rust at this point. The only real rusty spot was, like I detailed last year, is kind of like the front of the axle. And I think what I'm gonna do to test it is I'm gonna hit half of the axle with LPS3 and the other half with fluid film and just see if I get any different results next year. Usually the back half is, usually the back by the bumper is usually the first place to show any real rust. And yeah, there's a couple little pieces of hardware that look a little crusty. That sleeve for the spare tire carrier looks a little crusty, but if you guys aren't normally exposed to the north and the salt and the traditional winter driving, this is really about as good as it gets. So as you guys can see, the spare is pretty well coated in fluid film and dirt. But this spare used to be like a silver or a gray color. And as you guys can see, you can't even tell anymore. Fluid film really collects a lot of dirt throughout the course of just driving around. And I don't wash the bottom of the vehicle. What I'll do is I'm just gonna spray right over top of what's here. So basically what I'm doing is I'm building up multiple layers of dirt and fluid film on the surface of the vehicle, and that's ultimately what's going to protect the bottom of the vehicle from rust. All right, so I'm doing the same spraying procedure that I've detailed in the two other fluid film videos that I've done. Basically, I just spray inside the frame and inside the body everywhere I can, and then go through and hit the entire undercarriage with the fan tip. So I'll put a card up in the corner and link in the description to those videos if you guys want to know, actually how to spray the product. I'm not really going to cover it because at this point it's just redundant. So as far as the CV shaft from last year, if you guys remember, I have a CV shaft that one half was sprayed and the other half wasn't because half of it I missed. Well, that spot that was bare metal still looks like bare metal on both of them, and the spot that was rusty still looks rusty, but the rust hasn't gotten any worse. So clearly what I'm doing here is working. It's clearly holding off rust, and it's doing its job. So looking underneath the bottom of my dad's truck, it pretty much looks the same as it did last year after I got it sprayed. Everything has a nice gloss to it. It just has some additional dirt stuck to the fluid film now. So I had a lot of people commenting over the years that, you know, they were trying different products and different products worked well. And I did some testing on products last year, as I'm sure some of you guys have seen. Well, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to do some more testing this year with some different stuff that you guys suggested. So look for that video in the spring. I haven't actually, you know, posted anything out on the telephone pole yet, but I have all my products together, and I'm going to be assembling that test hopefully in the next couple weeks. Hopefully that test is going to start November 1st and run until April 1st is my plan, like I did last year. All right, so now switching trucks. This one is mine. As you guys can see, there aren't really any major changes from last year, which quite honestly, that's how it's supposed to be. Everything is dirty, obviously. There's no way you're going to get around that, but the majority of everything under here is rust-free. There's a little spot there on the bottom of the shock mount. I'm going to do what I did on my dad's truck and hit the bottom of this with some LPS 3 on this one side, and we'll see if it makes any difference or not compared to fluid film. But yeah, I mean, ideally, these videos should all be pretty much the same. So far they pretty much have been. Nothing really major has changed under here, obviously. And everything looks like it's supposed to. I know a lot of you guys were asking about bushings and stuff like that, but as you guys can see, all the bushings, you know, they're not all swelled up, they're not dry rotted and cracked. They look just like they're supposed to. Even all of the, like the tie rod end boots and the ball joint boots and stuff, they look the same. They're completely unaffected by this coating. So as far as what the rubber pieces look like, nothing's swelled up, nothing's really deteriorated. Everything just looks like it's supposed to. It's just dirty. All right, so this is what my truck looked like after I got finished spraying it. You know, basically it's the exact same as my dad's. Nothing really has changed. The surface is just dirty and slimy and a little glossier than what it was before I sprayed it. So this is what it looks like, guys. I'm gonna do another update next year on this stuff. But if it's anything like it has been the past couple years, you probably aren't gonna see much of a change. And ideally, that's how it's supposed to be. All right, guys, that's about what I have for this video. Like I told you in the beginning, it's pretty anticlimactic because, well, the stuff's working. I mean, there is some additional rust on some fasteners and things like that, but for going into the third winter in Ohio to not have basically any surface rust on an axle or the rocker panels or inside the bedsides, that's about as much proof as I can give you guys. I'm gonna continue to do these tests. If you guys are interested in purchasing fluid film, I'll have links in the description and a pinned comment down at the top of the comments for you. So as far as those links, I do get a small kickback from those links, and it costs you guys the same whether you use my links or you go straight to Amazon. That's totally up to you. I get a small kickback from it. It helps support the channel, helps me grow, helps me do my thing, and helps me document it for you guys. So if you'd use the links, I'd appreciate it. If not, no big deal. One other thing that I did want to run past you guys though real quick is I had a competitor to fluid film actually contact me, and naturally we had about a 40-minute conversation regarding, you know, different products that are on the market and how his product relates to fluid film and these other products that are on the market. And from what he's telling me, he has the best product on the market. Naturally, anybody who owns a business is gonna say they have the best product on the market. But the challenge that he issued me was this. So let me know if you guys wanna see this or not. Basically, lift my truck up on the lift, pressure wash the entire bottom side of the truck, remove all the fluid film, all the dirt, everything. Let it dry off and spray it fresh. But when I spray it, spray 1/2 of fluid film and 1/2 of the competitive product. Now, I'm not gonna say what this competitive product is because I don't know if this is gonna happen or not, but I wanna hear from you guys if you wanna see this or not. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think. But with that, as always guys, if you like the video, hit like. If you wanna see more content, go down and hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.